Well, good evening, everybody. It is good to be back. Man, happy New Year to everybody. And I guess let me first start out by saying, let me first start out by saying, thank you guys for and ladies for all of the support. I mean, without you guys watching all the videos and just being a part of really all of this stuff, it's yeah. I mean, it's really kind of hard to um really kind of just say, you know, just to really kind of say thank you to you guys. I mean, it's humbling to be able to do all of this and just have a good time with it. And really the best part of it for me is being able to really meet and interact with so many great people. I think there's a place for all of this, and this is great, but I think a lot of what happens, you know, kind of behind the scenes, just kind of personal interaction. It's a humbling thing. It's an important thing. It's something that, I guess I'll say from my standpoint, I don't take any of that stuff for granted. So, really, I can't say thank you guys enough for another great year. I mean, this whole thing, again, going back a bunch of years, started out in 2017, just again as a video diary. I had no idea about anything, and just wanted to have a good time with whiskey and what it was that I was tasting, and it's kind of turned into all of this. Never, foreshadowed any of this. This was never even a plan. So this has all become a bonus over the past, several years. So, to each of you guys, thank you so much. There's a lot of people that I've had a chance to meet, and again, just going back to the very beginning, that was never even a thing. I mean, you guys are really what has made this community the community that it is. So, without all of you, participating the way you do and being as involved as you are, none of this stuff would be possible. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that do something very similar to what I do that probably echo the same thing. But it's important for me to say to you, thank you guys for really everything. So hopefully everybody had a great holiday season. Great New Year's. I think at the beginning of every year, I think there's always some optimism, and hopefully there will be this year. I know, kind of tonight's, topic of kind of 2024 bourbon in review. You can kind of spin that a few different ways. But before we kind of dive into all that, let me just say hi to a few people that were in here right away. Mr. Marty Whiskey Nose was in right away. JG, good to see you, brother. Top Dog, Johnny, good to see you. Mr. Reese, good to see you, buddy. I got your text before. I was just about ready to go live. Timmy, good to see you. Tom, the Bourbon Jerk, again, good channel right there. If you guys haven't subbed to him, do yourself a favor and do it. Mr. Mays, how you doing, brother? Hopefully you and the lady are doing well. Forlorn Hope, good to see you, bud. Mr. Joey B, hopefully you and the young lady are doing very, very well. Appreciate all the support as well. What else we got? Marty, are you done? Are you done with your live already? I mean, it's an hour. I unless you're kind of doing multitasking, which is something I'm not great at. So, Keegan, good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. Mr. Mike Meyer, good to see you as well. Foolproof Hunter, good to see you, bud. I appreciate you jumping in tonight. Thank you very much. Mr. John Cloud, good to see you. Cheers to you, buddy. Mr. Ritter, as my buddy, is the I'll tell you, it's I don't know what I'd do without Mr. Todd Ritter in my life a little bit. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. I haven't decided on that yet, but I'll tell you, he keeps me on my toes. I'll tell you that. So good to see you, brother. All right. So anyway, so as you guys can see, so it's kind of going back, to the beginning of 2024. I think things were starting to change and kind of stayed, I'll say, status quo through most of 24. I think we all kind of felt a little bit of the pinch, the economy, all of that. And as much as I thought that would have slowed things down, we never really noticed. I mean, I still see everybody who continues to buy things. Now, what I will say about that is, you know, basically let me back up. So I think what I mean by that and the economy part of it is I think we've become a little bit more aware of what it is we're spending. We're being a little bit more kind of choosy as to what it is we're spending our money on. So I think that and I say when I say we, I guess I'm talking about from the whiskey club side of things. That's where you kind of see some of the statistics and buying patterns and all of that. So I'm kind of referencing that, and then also kind of just in general chat, seeing and watching what it is that people are buying, what they're kind of prioritizing, things along those lines. So it's it's one of those things where you're constantly kind of watching and monitoring that, and you do notice, and it felt like when you got to above that $100 price point that things kind of started to change a little bit. So you know and I guess I think maybe it also changed a little bit because there are other whiskey clubs and other whiskey groups that are doing picks, and that's great. I think a lot of us that are in here, or people even watching on the replay, understand that they're also buying bottles from other groups. So that becomes a little bit of a factor, maybe being a little bit more kind of, again, like I mentioned, choosy as to what it is that you're going to buy and from whom and all of that. So I think first and foremost, the economy seemed to be one of those things that was really kind of dictating what it is that we all did in 2024. And I think, excuse me, I think going forward, into 2025, it's going to be a little bit of the same. I think I don't know if we'll see more of a correction or we'll see more spending. I don't know about that, but I think people will be a little bit more particular or choosy as to what it is they buy and why. I think you always still have, all of the highly allocated stuff and things along those lines that people will never stop, you know, going after. There's always going to be new people coming into the market. And that's the one thing I also wanted to address is a lot of us in here right now. And I see a lot of you guys. I mean, I've met a lot of people that are in the chat and everything tonight. And in talking with people and meeting with them and seeing the bottles that everybody has, and we all know it's a lot and it's fun to continue to buy some of them. We all know we don't need more or anything like that. It's fun to continue to buy things, try different things, meet new people. So there's always kind of this revolving door of buying and sharing and buying and sharing and all of that. So it is one of those things that has become very, very, I guess I'll say like important to a lot of us. And I enjoy it. I enjoy buying bottles and sharing things and doing all that. But I think, people, and I'll go through, there was some people through Patreon tonight that sent some questions and things that I wanted to address as well. But again, I think it's just going to be a year very similar to 2024, where we're just cognizant of what it is we're spending and why. Again, we're in a niche where a lot of us don't need more whiskey. All of this is a want. So, that's one of the big things. So, all right, let me, so JJ, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Tonight's giveaway, this will be kind of fun, I think, for a lot of people, even whether you're in the club or not. Not everybody got a chance to try these. We'll be doing this later tonight, but here's kind of tonight's giveaway. And you guys can see exactly what's going on, but we'll have our top 5 bourbons in the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. I'll do samples of those, and I'll give away a new set of some tumbler glasses that I've got. I've worked with a company for a while by the name of Nesh, and they've got some great products. So I've got an extra set that's here that I'm happy to give away. So we'll do that. We'll do that tonight. But yeah, I guess just kind of going back, to to that, I think, just again, the market doesn't seem to have changed a lot yet. We're just kind of dealing with what it is we're dealing until we've got kind of the presidential, kind of changeover and things get into that. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on from that standpoint. But yeah, a lot of great things that are I think that are gonna be um, happening, and a lot of things that aren't going to change. I think a lot of stuff, like I mentioned before, is going to stay very much the same. So anyway, let me go back. Some guys and ladies had some very good points as far as kind of 2024 and how all that stuff goes. So all right, let me catch up. I gotta add everyone's name here quickly to the wheel of death. So all right, sorry about that. I need an assistant. All right, bear with me here 1 second, guys. When you got to enter all these names quick. And I'm sure JG knows from the old eyes. I've got to get into all of this stuff. So I gotta be able to see it. What I need is a larger computer is what I need. So that'll definitely help. Something with large. I need like AI to do all this stuff. So as this stuff kind of implements itself, but thanks guys. I appreciate all the super chats and all of this. Marty, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of great people, a lot of just overall, like I'm very lucky I feel like to be part of this community. So John, thank you very much, to you and Renee for everything that you guys do for the community, and I'll say even Julie and I. So you and I have kind of talked about that. So Tom, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. Cheers to you in 2025. You and your son keep doing what you're doing. You guys are killing it. So all right, Roger, thanks. Appreciate it very much. So let me type Roger in there real quick, and let's see what else we got here. Keegan, my man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, there's so many good things going on. And I don't ever want to be, a Debbie Downer for like the negativity stuff and all of that. I mean, I'd like to try to find the positivity or whatever I can in 24. And honestly, I think there was a lot of it, outside of the economy. I think we got into, a really good chance of, or a really good, part of being able to meet a lot of people and do things. And that's going to be a big part of what I'm going to try to do more of in 2025 is do more meetups, whether it's in Kentucky or local or whatever it may be. There's a lot of people that still haven't met that I want to meet and all of that. So, all right, give me 1 second. Let me get caught up here. So, man, I didn't think it'd be this. But this will give you, I guess, as far as tonight's giveaway and talking about that, you'll not only have some good glasses to sip out of, but you're going to get a nice opportunity for a lot of people who haven't had a chance to, try a lot of these picks. So it's, I was trying to think of like what else to do as far as like a giveaway, and this gives you guys or ladies or whoever it may be a very, very good opportunity to try a lot of really, really good whiskeys. So thanks, Keegan. I appreciate that. Let me go back here real quick. Mary, it was awesome to meet you. Boy, that was probably maybe back in October. So happy New Year's to you as well. Let me put you in there. And we'll kind of carry on with things. Mr. Ritter, I know. Did I make you feel bad? I probably made you feel bad or something. Now you feel like you had to donate something. So it says, he's making thing from Seal. I don't think so. I'm not making anything from Seal Box. Literally not one dime. So I get nothing from Seal Box. It was nice for Blake to post my video on there. That was nice of him. So let me I guess I'll add you. So yeah, that was kind of unexpected. If anybody didn't see, I don't want to spoil it necessarily. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but I had I never let me first say this. I never had an opportunity to try the Russell's 15, where I know that bottle is going to probably be either the number one for a lot of people. I never got it. I actually never even tried it, so I couldn't add it to my list of top 5 or 10 whiskeys in 2024 because I didn't have it. So that was one of the parameters, was to have some of that stuff. So um Kelsey, just shoot me a text. I'll make sure and get in there. Just tell me what it was, and I'll add you in there. Let me throw it in there. If it was $5 or $10, let me throw you in there. Let's see. Okay, all right, that looks like 20. Okay. Okay. What else we got? All right. So anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. I want to, I guess, going into 2024 to me was just kind of stagnant. Again, like I had mentioned, economy wise, we were all selective. Everyone's wondering what in the world's going on, and just trying to figure things out. I think now that we've gotten to 2025, I feel like there is a sense of some positivity, a little bit. And I think with that being said, again, I think there's also more awareness of what it is we're spending and what we're buying. And like I mentioned before, we're in a niche type of I don't know, field or whatever it is you want to call special niche, where a lot of us don't need all of this. A lot of it is want, and part of it becomes the want factor because it's having a lot of these whiskeys to be a part of the community. And again, you don't have to have the top, bourbons or every single thing that comes out. It's just a matter of sharing things. And like I mentioned before, I think it's going to be very important for me to focus a little bit more on wanting to be more involved, more meetups, things along those lines, trying to do it in different areas, things along those lines. So I'm going to try to make more of an effort in 2025 to try to get around to some different places and coordinate some of that stuff. I may need some help from my from my wife on some of those things, but I'll try to do my best to make sure that happens, whether it's Kentucky, here in Wisconsin, Chicago, Iowa, wherever it may be, things that I can do to get out and meet more people. So, all right, Kitty, you are in it. Let me throw you in there real quick. Let's get in there. You are in it to win it. That's for sure. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. So again, I think that's a big thing. And somebody else in Patreon had mentioned before, looking forward to 2025 is, let me see if I can find, I think it was, and we'll go back a little bit. We'll kind of jump back and forth a little bit, but it was, I think, having more experiences in 2025, more so than just standing in a line or hunting for a lot of things. I think people experiencing things like, I guess I'll say, for instance, kind of shameless plug with the Bardstown Blitz that we did last year. That stuff is great. Like, I love those kinds of events. They're a lot of work, to put on and get it all coordinated and make sure it works really well. And really, from my standpoint, the pressure is just to have, or wanting everybody to have such a great time. So And that's important. That's important to me. So it's one of those things that is just important. It's meeting people and being a part of something, physically. So that's again a huge part for me. And I hope to be able to meet and hang out with other people I've had, I have met, and really to get a chance to meet a lot of people that I haven't. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Mr. Mays, thank you so much. Let me add you in here real quick, and I'll get you in there. So, yeah, I guess, as far as like meetups and stuff, I think most people would probably be on board. I've just got to try to figure out like locations to go and to do it far enough in advance to make sure that, people I can get a venue, or I shouldn't say venue, like a stadium. I'm going to go on like a stadium tour. Just a nice place to be able to kind of meet up, and, maybe a distillery, things along those lines. So, 20 so Eric says 2025 is going to be, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Kelsey, what do you got here? So I think that FOMO will always be there, and I think that more people will let more into love the share anything I find. Yeah, and again, I think that's a big part of the community. Kelsey's a big part of that. We all try to, whenever we're together, as many people that are together, try to share as much stuff. And that's the fun part, is the whiskey is the source. It is the key factor that keeps everybody kind of, together. I'll bring whiskey, whatever it may be, and then from there you've got great conversation with good friends, all of those kinds of things. So that to me is a huge part of what this is all about. It's more than just drinking whiskey and all of that, and me talking to a camera. If it was just that, and I had none of this or any interaction or the opportunity to meet people, I don't think I would continue to do it. It would just be, kind of, I'll say, a little bit of nonsense. I mean, this platform is just the hub to do all the fun things. So I'm hoping that 2025 becomes maybe a little bit more of the year of kind of whiskey experiences and meetups and things along those lines. So great, Nick. I'm glad. I know you guys were having a good time. So it was nice to finally meet you, and just everybody who was there. I mean, we had almost 125, or so people. So it was a great time mixing in with a hurricane that wasn't supposed to be there when we did it, but we powered through, and it became an absolutely fantastic event. So, and it was great to see so many people, you know, first and foremost, maybe for the first time or hadn't, met before, but just to see everybody having such a great time. So, all right, Dana, what do you got? We all have enough bourbon. It's now about the experiences, in my opinion, more meetups and live blinds. Yep, I'm going to do that, and I have fun with those things as well. Yeah, so yeah, that's something I'm going to start kind of working on here, and I actually have an email I got to get out to somebody tomorrow about that. So, all right, Ritter, what do you got? So, anything over 100 is going to have a lot of word of mouth love. 15-year buff turkey is in thing, but for something they're going to need to use the power of the reviewers. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little bit of a different thing. I don't know how much of it is out there. I mean, I've heard there's a fair amount, but again, it's not cheap. I think a lot of bottles are anywhere from, I'm going to say, a couple $100 to maybe $300, but I guess I'll say this in my opinion of kind of, we kind of digress a little bit here regarding, what it is we're willing to spend money on. I mean, that 15-year-old, buffalo turkey, or whatever it is you want to call it, to me was absolutely fantastic. I loved the individual parts of it, everywhere from, front, middle, back palate, the mouth coating, the flavor profile, like long finish, mouth coating. I mean, really everything. It hit all the marks for me. And again, I don't have the Wild Turkey or the Russell's 15 to compare it to, but for me, it was absolutely fantastic. I've heard some people have had some single barrels that have been great. Some people have not had a great experience with it. And again, I don't know, what or why some of that is, but it's just one of those things. And for me, I loved that deep, dark, rich kind of profile, and that's the kind of bourbon that I can find myself sipping on, quite a bit. I mean, not like at that proof like all the time, but again, as a bourbon individually, and when you're breaking these things down, it was absolutely fantastic. So, that was, excuse me, that was a great point from the standpoint of what it is we're all selective, there were a lot of people who paid big money for the Russell's 15, so to each of us who buy those bottles, you justify that somehow, so again, you tie all these things in. We're again in a niche of wanting, not needing. So, all right, Girth, I got you in there, buddy. Thanks, bud. So anyway, so I guess moving forward to 2025, or even actually, let's go back. Let's see, what do we have? All right, here we go from Will O'Neill. This was in Patreon. So top underrated and top overrated of 2024. Hopefully more availability, no price increases in 2025. I don't know if we're going to see increases in 2025. I think there's enough out there now that a lot of the distillers and just everybody involved. I don't know how much more right now you could put an increase on bourbon, and it wouldn't be smart to do. Like, if we're going back to 2024 and talking about some of the negative things that kind of happened, we had the sale of Old Carter. I think that was more of just kind of working the numbers and as a buyout and all of that, so that was, kind of a little bit different, but we had the issue of the bankruptcy between Stoli and Kentucky Owl. I think they played their hand or their cards wrong, and it's from a negative standpoint. I think that was a great example of overshadowing your expectation. I think they got so far ahead of themselves. In originally they had this rendering of like the Disney World of distilleries or whatever that whole pyramid thing was that they were planning on doing, and it got completely out of control. And ultimately they started there. They bought the brand, and it kind of started to fall apart from there. Really once Dixon Dedman left, I know, Mark Carter had already left. There were a couple other people that were a part of it. They left. Stoli had a brand and no affiliation. There was no personal connection between any of us to them. Their bottles were expensive at the time. The product kind of started to feel like it was falling apart a little bit. And that was one of those things. And it fell apart. And now here we are, beginning of 2025. They're, filing whatever the bankruptcy is between Stoli and Kentucky Owl. And I don't know ultimately what that means for production, bottle sales, any of that stuff going forward. But I have to imagine it's not good. And to have all of that, Stoli coming in, buying that brand, people leaving, no connection, really no marketing behind anything, expensive bottles. It was kind of a recipe for disaster, and they have nobody to blame but themselves, and they created that. So, that is one of those things where, again, from a negative side of 2024, just because you buy a brand doesn't mean it's going to do well. It is a very, very difficult thing to be able to do between inventory and producing whiskey and running a distillery, all the expenses that are there, whether you're sourcing or not, all of it comes with huge expenses. And if you're just doing the math that works in your advantage, you're going to fail in the business world. You can't operate business like that. So, couple meetups a year would be awesome. I'm going to try to catch up here a little bit with you guys. All right, that's good. I like to hear it. And I've heard some like kind of mixed results on some of the 15, but it's again, like any bourbon, it's or whiskey, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all based on what it is you're trying. If you're getting garbage stuff that nobody ever wanted and you're trying, well, it's not going to be great. There's a lot of barrel picks that I've gone on, that a lot of you have gone on, and you find amazing whiskey for what that is. I've had some where I've gone and the whiskey's not been very good at all, and you just pass, and it's as simple as that. So there are definitely those times. So Hockamania. Wow. I don't know about that. So yeah, I mean, it's 2025. I mean, it was a very different year. It's just going to be interesting to see where this all goes in 2025, and I'm hoping to God that there's a little bit more of a positive feel. I feel like there will be, and what I also feel is um, that, again, like I mentioned, more people want to be more involved. That doesn't necessarily mean buying more whiskey. It's just being more involved, more meetups, more get-togethers. And again, that's a very important thing. And I've mentioned it several times now that I'm gonna definitely try it. So here's one thing I'll say also. I'm a huge Four Roses, Four Roses. Haven't even had anything yet to drink. Four Roses fan, and when they kind of released not that long ago the fact that they were going to be doing some individual single barrels, or yeah, individual single barrels at 100 proof, but different recipes. I was excited for that we weren't just going to continue to get the same OBSV. Now we're getting different ones. So I've locally found two of the three. I believe there's three. In addition to the OBSV, I've got an OBSF, I've got the OESK, and I think the other one, if I'm not mistaken, is OESO. So I'm trying to hunt down the final one, and as soon as I do, I'm gonna do a video kind of comparing all of them together and see maybe what it is that stands out amongst all of them in good, bad, in different ways. So looking forward to that. All right, what do we got here, Anthony? I think what became clear in 2024 and will continue in 2025 is that the legacy distillers are leaving the 80 to 120 price point in favor of cheaper shelfers and more expensive LEs. And that doesn't surprise me, I guess, one bit, from the standpoint of them maybe being smart about things. It's one of those. Did I read that right? Let me read that again. So I think what became clear in 2024 and will continue in 25 is the legacy distillers are leaving the 80 to 120 price point. Oh, okay, yeah. So I would, I think everybody became a little budget conscious, and the smart ones did that. So I think if people are focusing on, because we all know there are great bottles that are, 25 to, let's say, 55 or 60 bucks, if we're just going to use that as a range, that are great whiskeys. We don't need necessarily more than that from a price range, where all of those will vary in proof. So yeah, I would agree. I think there's a lot of those great bottles that are out there, and I think the only thing that keeps a lot of us from not continuing to do that is because they are available. We all seem to want or have that FOMO of, what is next? What else can I buy? And again, I don't need more Four Roses single barrels, as they're probably going to vary a little bit, but I'm interested just to see what those flavor profiles will be, how different they'll be from just the standard OBSV, and that's kind of fun to me. So I'm, again, at the end of the day, I'm willing to pay for those. I think they were like 55 bucks each, which is maybe a little bit pricier. I bought them from this kind of like fancier grocery stores. Um that probably wasn't the best thing. And maybe it's like $5 or $7 more than they should be, but I'm guessing the MSRP on that's got to be 50 bucks would be my guess. Can't be much less than that, especially for something that's a newer release. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the OESO if I can find it. Again, 100 proof. I think it makes it for that great daily sipping, bourbon. So, I have no, and I've got the OESK that I actually just got today. So, dry January out the window. Cheers, guys. I appreciate everybody, even though I never participate in dry January. I don't. But anyway, so cheers, everyone. I appreciate all of you guys. Like I said before, all the support and just you being here, commenting, hanging out for a while, meetups, all of that good stuff. Cheers. Mm, kind of like a spicy apple, a little bit. Kind of funny, but like one thing that popped in my mind with this OESK was this like apple, and then also this like a coffee cake or something like that. There feels something like that. I don't know what that is, but I'll dive into those things a little bit more and kind of break them down. I mean, geez, that thing is spicier than heck for 100 proof. It's drinking a little bit hotter than 100 proof. Now I just got it today, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, all right, Chris, let me add you to the thing here. I appreciate it, bud. Get you in there. Man, I'm probably way behind. I gotta speed back up a little bit. I don't want to overlook anything, but thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. We try, man. It's just having fun and good times. That's what it's all about. So, all right, Eric, what do you got? I do believe a lot of these craft distillers are coming into. Yeah, the good part about a lot of the craft distillers are the ones that started out, pre-pandemic, are now getting these bourbons, and I'll say like Driftless Glen by us here in Wisconsin. They've all stuck with it. Their stock is now older, where I think their whiskeys, as long as they were done well, have been able to now kind of compete in the market that we're all looking for those particular kind of ages. So, all right, Kitty, what do you got here? So OESO 148.99 for me locally. Let me know if you need to get me. I'll look around here, Kitty, and if some reason I can't find one in the next week or so, I will. I'll send something to you, and or you can send me something, or shoot me an email. I'll get your contact info, and we can exchange stuff that way. I may need to. I don't know if I'll see it, and I've only seen it in one place, so I appreciate it. All right, Marty, what do you got? Hot great example of the Four Roses single barrel. I have like 12 total, including our epic pick, and have seen them like 5 times a year, 110 bucks in pat. Yeah, so I know they've crept up in price a little bit, and again, for these at 50 bucks, they're not barrel strength, single barrel, 100 proof, but again, it offers, I think, a better value for the most part. I think, it makes it a little bit more. It makes it more approachable for the masses. Not a lot of us are people who want big high proof all the time, but for anybody who enjoys Four Roses, the different kind of yeast strains and all of that they use, and mash bills, things along those lines, it's kind of a fun thing. We've all had or kind of been just used to the standard 100 proof single barrel OBSV for years and years. And well, now we've got, in addition to that one, 3 new ones. I don't know what else, if they'll continue to release all of them like they have, but they're just kind of rolling these out into the market now. My guess is that eventually they'll all be out there. I don't know why they wouldn't, unless there's something that just prevents them from doing it efficiently. I don't know why they wouldn't. So, yeah, I have no idea. Dry anything. I have no idea. It'd be impossible for me to do. So, What do we got here? So 2025 and 20 will be the year the craft distillers start to take a bigger and bigger chunk of the market. Well, we'll find out. I mean, this 2025, I think, with all of the craft distillers that have kind of been around, have continued to do good things. Still at the end of the day, you're never gonna like really compete with the big guys. You may eat into a little bit of that. I think what's gonna happen is more people may be aware of how good some of that stuff is from these other kind of craft distillers, because their stuff is good. And it's not just 2 years old anymore like it used to be. They've gotten better ages, and with time and all of that, if it's done right and they've aged it properly, it can be fantastic whiskey, and people are starting to find that out. And Driftless is a perfect example of that. I mean, it's a fantastic whiskey, and I mean, I've got nothing but great things to say about what it is what they do. So Driftless is going to be a bigger competitor in 2025. Let's hope so. We'll find out. So. All right, Nicholas, what do you got? Here's to a great 2025 and getting that Jorge T swag or cannoli. Only picks I didn't get. Yeah, so let me get you in there. I'll add you to the list, and we'll see what we can do. So let me add you in there right now. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think, going forward into 2025, it's just going to be one of those things where I don't know, the first quarter of 25, I think is going to be very similar to 2024. We're all going to be trying to get our feet wet with changes and stuff happening and figuring all that part out, and just kind of seeing what it is that changes, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. We'll find out. But, from a whiskey standpoint, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of things are going to continue to be the same. I think the only thing from my standpoint that I would maybe recognize would be just being more selective. I know there's a lot of people who buy an awful lot of whiskey, and I think the one thing is people are going to be a little bit more selective and starting to look for, just different experiences, overall. And hopefully I can be a small part of that and just do something within the community and a lot of you guys and ladies, and do more meetups and bring more whiskey and just have a good time. I mean, that's really what it's all about. I think as much as we enjoy, great whiskeys, we enjoy the company, I think, even better. I mean, it's fine to have a few glasses of bourbon or something, by yourself or sitting around watching some TV, but hands down, it's more fun being able to do it with a group of great people. So you're never gonna defeat that, and that's really what this spirit, I think, allows a lot of us to do. Now, if you're a cigar person, you mix that in, and it really slows things down. It really allows to just sit down, relax, forget about, any of the things that may be negative or that are going on in your life. So it is one of those types of spirits that allows a lot of us to be able to kind of just slow all of that stuff down a little bit. What's up, Lance? Good to see you, brother. I appreciate you jumping in tonight. Gandhi, cheers to you. Who else we got here? There he is, Mr. Paul P. Good to see you, brother. Finally got to meet Paul this year at the Bardstown Blitz. It was kind of cool to meet Scott Van Pelt in person. That was awesome. All right, Gandhi, what do you got here? My two favorite craft distillers from 2024, JT Mellick and Cedar Ridge. We're hoping to maybe do both of them in 2025. I've got to reach out to probably Mellick again, definitely Cedar Ridge, and see if we can kind of get back over there. Cedar Ridge will be interesting. I think both of them will be very, very interesting, and they're producing different fun things. So that will be, again, that is one of my focuses is as much as we all like the big brands, I want a lot of, I'll say, you guys, ladies, whomever it may be that's watching, to kind of get outside just the box of the big core always having or wanting to hunt those whiskeys. I think when you get places like Andy was saying, you know, the Cedar Ridge, the JT Mellick, a lot of those places that honestly, I don't want to say would have never been on the map without a lot of people doing single barrels, because they would have, but it definitely didn't hurt that groups and people were doing picks and able to get these bottles around the country. So that's a big thing. So yeah, maybe expanding that part of it, maybe bypassing in 2025 some of the big guys and trying some of the new-ish or new to you craft distillers. That may be kind of a fun way to try and just, experiment with other things that are out there. So, what's everyone think of the future of Sagamore? Man, again, when BT was there, Brian Tracy was there. I'll tell you what, he was in tune with everything that was going on within the whiskey community. He was very involved. He got them involved. I think he really, for a lot of us, helped put Sagamore on the map, made us aware of what was going on. It really introduced us to that brand. Without him, I think a lot of people, we would have never experienced it. I'll say when we did, I'm glad he was able to do that, because they're producing great whiskey. Again, it's one of those things where I don't have any connection to or with Sagamore anymore. So they've, for a lot of us, they've kind of fallen a little bit off the map just because of the lack of kind of any communication or involvement with the community. That was one thing that I think that Brian was absolutely fantastic with, and he kept people involved and kept the brand kind of in the forefront. And when you just rest on your laurels, bad things can happen. I think you still need to utilize the community as your part of your marketing and sales force. And when you just no longer do any of that, it's a tough thing. All right, Gary, what do you got here? So I'd rather spend my whiskey money on whiskey related experiences over bottles. I still pick up a couple bottles, but I have more than those I can. Yeah, and you and I and everybody probably in here are in the same boat. We all have more whiskey. We'll probably never drink all of what and have the experience of what it is we do have whiskey wise, and sharing that. That's the big part. And I think oftentimes for a lot of us, it's wanting to share what it is we have with each other, because, as much as we all have, there's a lot of things that we all haven't had. So that becomes part of the buying experience and then the sharing experience as well. So, hey, Stacy, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in here. I appreciate it. West Virginia bourbon guy. Good to see you, brother. What else we got here? All right, we'll probably wrap her up here in a few minutes. For a lot of you that are part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, tonight is the night. So 9:30 Eastern, Jason and I will be doing our live Patreon only of the top 5 whiskeys. I will reveal, or easy for me to say, the top 5, and then we'll also include 2 of our, I guess I don't know our, but the additional bourbons that were not part of the top 5 that were chosen as the top 5 by the Patreon community. We'll add 2 of our own into the mix, and then we're going to blind taste them all. We're going to choose which one we ultimately like the best. So those will be, one of them will be our Rebecca Creek, which was the double oak in Spanish oak, the Green River, which was the Jorge T. Swag, the Still Austin. I forget which one this one was, but it's one of the 2. What was the name of this one? Ludicrous. That was a Ludicrous. And I don't even get stickers. Like these bottles, we get them before the stickers are even put on. Half the time we don't even get those. But here we got the Holy Cannoli, the 13th Colony. That will be in there, and that will be part of tonight's giveaway. And then we also had the Holiday, our sweet red wheat single barrel. Fantastic. We had both of the rye mash bill, rye bourbon mash bill, and the wheated bourbon mash bill. So that was exciting. So those are the 5. I can't reveal my other 2 yet that are going to be part of the blind tonight, but whoever wins tonight, I'll include a sample of the other 2 as well. So I'll let you know what those are. You'll probably see them tonight if you're part of the Patreon community and the Mash and Journey Army. So appreciate that. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Bird's Eye Bourbon. If you guys haven't checked him out on Instagram, man, and YouTube at this point, he's killing it. So good dude. So he and I chat quite a bit. So what else we got here? So anyway, all right, nutshell on 2024 and going into 2025. Again, market condition, economics, all kind of controlled where we were. What was going on in 2025 kept us kind of guessing, for some of us anyway, as to, where things were going. Was kind of volatile. I think just watching, a bankruptcy, the sale of old Carter, which Mark ultimately got back. Again, like I said, the bankruptcy between Stoli and Kentucky Owl. Again, just overall the whiskey market and kind of that threshold of what people were willing to spend. And it felt like once you got above that $100 price point, things became selective. It feels like under that, that feels like kind of the go zone, meaning there's not a lot of thought that goes into, maybe buying those bottles. It just felt like maybe it was a little bit easier at under 100 to kind of pull the trigger on something along those lines. And we'll see, if or how that changes in 2025, both within the club and just the overall buying experience. I think, again, 2025, we're just coming off of a year where we've become, I think, more aware of everything. So I think that's what we're going to ultimately see kind of going into 2025 and being just more aware. And again, also focusing a little bit more on the experience versus just the bottle itself. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm all in favor of that. So yes, ludicrous. I don't even have I got to get the sticker. We're supposed to get a bunch of stickers, but I don't know if we ever will. So, yeah, Tom's doing a good job over at Limestone Farm. And again, it's an up and coming distillery that's kind of in the works. I know they're doing some of the sourcing and everything now, but they're doing some pretty cool things. So yeah, 25, I think it feels like maybe a year of, I guess I'll say, optimism. And I feel it a little bit more. And I don't know if it's just being overly optimistic about things. It's, it's kind of what I hope for, but again, I think it just kind of boils down to really at the end of the day, what it is that each one of us is willing or unwilling to pay for a bottle of whiskey. And if it's important enough that we want to share that with anybody else or whatever it may be. But overall, I think 2025 is going to be more of an experience type of thing. So, what do we got here? Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. It'll be interesting. I think the cool part about what Tom is doing, I know I had mentioned or referenced Brian Tracy with Sagamore before, but I think what Tom is doing for that brand in being in the forefront and getting these whiskeys into people's hands, letting them talk about it, become part of the market research to use or to utilize the people that are here doing what we're doing. I mean, we're like whiskey test dummies for the most part. And that's very valuable from their standpoint, whether it's the quality of the whiskey, what it is we're kind of tasting, what we're talking about. And then ultimately is the value there for what those whiskeys are. And I think collectively, when a lot of us get together and talk about those things, that quickly becomes apparent or not as to how or what the quality of that whiskey is going to be and whether or not the the community or just buyers in general are going to pay that kind of price. I know, again, above $100, is kind of become the threshold where people really start to kind of give some real thought to that. So, all right, couple more minutes. If anybody wants to get in on the giveaway tonight, like I had kind of mentioned here at the bottom, that little the little ticker down there, 5+2 samples of the top 5 M&J single barrels of 2024. We're going to be blinding those tonight. So watch Patreon. I'll be posting a link there shortly. We'll be doing that in about 35 minutes from now. So I'll post it here shortly as soon as we're done with tonight's live. So, but again, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for just really everything. All of the, participation and the comments and the views and just all of this kind of stuff. I mean, you could choose to be doing something else tonight, and some of you, aren't. So I appreciate, you being a part of this and kind of hanging out tonight for a little while and just kind of chatting a little bit about, kind of some of the goods, bads, and difference of both 2024, and hopefully some better things kind of coming in 2025. It feels like it. We've gotten through all the election stuff, which was getting to be a real freaking downer. Like every single night we had to listen to that bullshit. So it's just kind of getting to the point where enough's enough. Let's just everybody move on, focus on some other things, and kind of create some positivity. I mean, fortunately, we enjoy the commonality of a particular spirit, and hopefully that will allow all of us to just continue to have a good time and make hopefully 2025 a better year than it was 2024. So feels like it will be to me. I think there's a lot of great people that are part of this community and all of that. So, with all of you guys continuing to do what you do and be positive about things, it's an important thing, because it's a hell of a lot easier to be negative about things. And trust me, I find myself kind of falling into that category at times as well. So trust me, my wife lets me know. But it's not that anybody wants to be. It's just easy. You watch the news and all of that, and it's 29 minutes and 30 seconds of nothing but garbage going on in the world, and they mix in 30 seconds of some positivity. It's just easy to spin negativity on people. So to fight against that and I don't know. I don't even want to go. I don't want to continue to go down the old negative rabbit hole. But yeah, trust me, I'm looking forward to 2025 and hopefully it being a really, really good year. Just more positivity and just having a good time, doing some more meetups, and I'll start to work on some of those things and see what can kind of get put together. I know from my standpoint, we're a little bit into January here, coming into February. It can be difficult travel wise just because of the weather. But if there's some local things I can maybe do, so anywhere, people that are maybe, I mean, anybody can come from wherever, but if I did something local-ish, maybe between Chicago, maybe some people in Iowa, maybe Michigan, that's kind of pushing it a little bit. Definitely Wisconsin. We'll see exactly kind of how all of that stuff goes. But even if I can do some things that make a little bit of an impact and get people together and something that you wouldn't have done during the cold months, it's worth it to me. So we'll see what's going on. Mr. Joey B, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you becoming a new member. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, bud. To you and the wife. Marty, look at you coming in here. Probably had too much whiskey. He's drunk now. He's just hitting all kinds of buttons. Has no idea he's even a member at this point, probably. But well, I'll thank you in the morning. Get that Z-Biotics you had behind you. But thanks, brother. And again, like Marty, he's an awesome guy. Have had a chance to meet him a few times, and we always have a good time together. And it's just kind of a part of it's just being part of all of this stuff. So I got to meet Aaron at Wild Turkey. I mean, it's just a lot of great people. So thank you so much. Let me get you in on here, and we will we'll do the Wheel of Death here in a second. Actually, we'll do it. Let's call it the Wheel of Positivity right now as we're going into 2025. Um, let's see here. All right. I think I've got everybody here. Paul, I'm working on that. So the next one I'm hoping to do is going to be between Green River and Bardstown Bourbon Company. I've got to email the lady tomorrow about that and seeing what that mix and stuff will be. But yeah, we'll continue to do that. So we'll see if it happens in January, definitely February or whatever it may be. But we'll continue to do a lot of the virtuals and stuff like that. I love to do them, and it's a fun way to do some things typically on a Thursday night, and gets us an opportunity to try a bunch of different things. So I know Roger was asking about it too, so I appreciate it. With the tag, I don't know. I'm just busting you know what's. So anyway, all right. Let me go ahead and. All right, Ritter, you're gonna give. I'll do. Well, then we'll do two. I appreciate that, bud. So you, well, you can be whatever. I don't know if you want to mention it or whatever that may be, but you can give whatever it is you're willing to. I appreciate that. So, and whoever the winner is tonight. So mine will be obviously the 7 samples and the Nesh tumblers. I'll send you. That's a new box and all packaged. 2 really nice tumbler glasses. Got a nice heavy base. Whoa, holy moly. All right. So let me extend this thing 5 minutes. You're probably going to get a bunch of players in here for a bottle of Forgate, for crying out loud. So, all right, for anybody who's not in and you want a chance to either win this, we'll do 2 spins. The first spin, just to make it easy and all of that, the first spin will be for the glasses and the 5 or the 7 samples. The second spin will be for Todd's very generous bottle of Forgate. So how's that sound? If you guys aren't in it, then get in. We've got 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So I know a guy, you do know a guy, and I know the guy that you know. So anyway, but I'm gonna enter. Yeah, I gotta put let's see. Yeah, over here. I gotta get. I'll get into my own thing. I'll add it to the list. So, needless to say, I'm a huge fan. So, all right, here comes Mike. Mike's rolling in here. Here come all the big shots now. So, all right, let's get you in here. All right. All right, when this thing hits, let's see, we got one more. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. We'll see. Yeah. All right, Mark. I got to meet Mark at the Bardstown Blitz. It was good to meet Mark too. So, all right, Mark, we'll get you in here. All right, let's see. All right, I think we're almost done. So let me make sure. All right, we got 1:15. Look at Fran. Look at everybody. I'm a sucker. All right, Franchi, we'll get you in there, bud. Hopefully you and Maureen are doing well. So. And I will, I'll spin the thing or I'll shuffle it up a couple times. So, all right, 1 minute, 15 seconds, and we are going to shut it off. So again, guys, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to more of these. I'm going to try to do them as often as I can, try to get more people on. But, oftentimes I like just kind of shooting the, what with everybody. And it's a lot of fun just being able to do this and have pours and maybe from you guys. Here's one thing I'll ask before we wrap things up. If you guys have ideas for, if you want to choose a particular, bottle, and we can chat about all of that stuff, or a couple bottles and we all have that and talk about it, whatever it may be. Things that are fun and interactive is fun for me. So if there are ideas that you have, you can always shoot me an email. If you have my cell phone, call me, text me, whatever. You can always, again, like I said, email me if you have great ideas or just anything in general, and I'll kind of just go through some of that and see exactly what all of that stuff is. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and shut it. Actually, let me add Marty in there, and he's the last one. So, okay, well, good luck, everybody. We'll let me share my screen here real quick. So we are officially done. No more entries. Let me make sure I got everybody. I got Mark's in, Mike's in. All right, so we're good. Let me get rid of Marty's up there. Let me share my screen. And okay, there we go. Wheel of names. All right, here we go. So as you guys can all see, let me bring up this thing on my end. Then that way I can watch along with you guys and see exactly what it is that's going on. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead. As you can see, I'm going to shuffle all the names. Let's do it 5 times. So, and what I'll do is, let's see, did I shuffle it already? 5 times. Okay, so let's give the old, and this for the first spin is going to be for the 7 samples and the glasses. So here we go. This will be for winner number 1. Good luck. All right, who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Ah! All right, Kelsey. All right, I don't know if you got all of them or whatever. I don't know if you got all of the bottles or not, or if you want all of that, you let me know. Let me pull this up here. You can shoot me a text or whatever. Let me pull this thing up here. Rigged. It definitely isn't rigged considering this thing is that. So, all right, Kelsey is the winner of the glasses and the 7 samples. I don't know if I know Kelsey does a lot of buying of bottles and stuff within the club. I don't know if he has all of them or not, but we'll assume that he does. So let's go ahead and he's maybe not even watching. I'll reach out to him. So we'll make sure we get all that stuff to him. All right. So here is let me shuffle it again 5 more times. Obviously Kelsey can't win this one. So good luck to everybody else this is for the very generous bottle of 4-Gate from Mr. Todd Ritter. So here we go. Good luck, everyone. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Wrong. It was almost Marty, and it would just crept into Roger, Mr. Roger Reese. Oh boy! All right, congrats, buddy. I've got all your info, so I'll get that over. Shoot it to me, and I can get it to Todd. And unless you and Todd know each other, man, that was close. You guys, there were some very, very close ones that were just creeping into. Let's see, it just went past Mark. Just barely went past Mark. Oh, look at Roger. Roger was sandwiched by Marty and couldn't even get it. Oh, Marty, you poor bastard. Oh, Jesus. That was pretty good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for the Patreon people. I'm going to be posting that link here in Patreon for a second. Or in a couple minutes. So we'll be going live in about 25 minutes or so. And we'll be doing our head-to-head between our 5 plus 2 bottles of the single barrel picks from Mash and Journey. And again, these were all 5 were chosen by you as the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So that's what we're doing. We're going to blind them all tonight. We're going to add 2 more of our own to each one of those, and all of that. So let me get off the stop sharing. So there we go. All right. So again, guys, thank you so much for everything in 2024. Looking forward to 2025, and just continued good health, everything for each and every one of you. I appreciate all your support, all the videos that you guys comment on and watch and everything. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, remember, it is about the journey and not the destination. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Some of you will see in about 30 minutes. But again, guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you next Tuesday. Cheers, guys.